Good day, everyone. This is Miss De La Torre, and at this point, we're going to talk about when humanity and technology crossed. Now, we're done with the philosophical basis of a good life, and at this point, we're going to deal with how society is shaped by the ever improving modern technology. In this particular lesson, we will dive into the different technological advancement in the society, of course, together with their pros and cons. And furthermore, we're going to discuss the interplay between technology and human rights by presenting different dilemmas at the latter portion. So if we're going to check, okay, technology started as human civilization developed tools that is necessary for us to survive. Okay? And if we're going to further analyze, as constant change occurs, anong nangyayari? The society of today is very much different from the society in the past because, again, as technology changes, changes in our society also happens. And paano nga ba nangyayari yun? That is because society is willing to transform. Okay? We demand more. Okay? And it is our willingness to transform, our willingness to improve, to innovate, coupled with our, unquenchable thirst, no, for speed up different changes. Okay? That's one of, or those are the things that fuels, okay, the dynamics of society and technology. Now, why do we have this willingness at the first place? No, that is simply because it brings comfort into our lives. And if you're going to check, technology impacts the different fields of our life. Okay, that includes transportation, security, education, different industry, health, and even agriculture. Now, let's talk about the different advantages of modern technology. Okay? I believe every one of us naman will agree that technology really are very beneficial to us. And the following that you can see in the slide as of the moment are, of course, some of the, not all, no, but some of the advantages of modern technology to us human beings. That includes improved communication, convenience in education, improved housing, lifestyle and entertainment, convenience in traveling, change in the health industry, efficiency and productivity, as well as creativity and innovation. And we're going to look at them, no, one by one in the following slides. Okay? Again, this is just some of the advantages of modern technology. Mas marami pa yan, no? If you want, actually, I would like to ask you if you could think of and add advantages of the modern technology. Can you try to pause this video and share it through our class learning management system? You're free to do so. Okay? So, going back, these are the focus of our topic in relation to the advantages of modern technology. So let's start with the very first one, no, yung improved communication. So if you're going to backtrack a little bit, okay, in comparison with the way we communicate before, na pag-usapan natin to dun sa historical antecedent of science and technology, 'di ba? Nung una, it is just from oral passing of information nagsisimula. Yung literal na verbal communication. That's how we communicate, no? That's how we translate, we transfer information from one generation to the next. And again, with that, it helps, but in a way, it compromises what? The certainty of the facts. No, diyan papasok nga yung halimbawa, yung tsismis na tinatawag, no? How can we say na valid ang naire-relay sa atin when it is only through words, no? Usually, kapag pass the message, ang nangyayari may dagdag bawas. So, that compromises the certainty of facts kapag ka oral communication. But through time, through the help of technological advancement, today, hindi lang na tayo sa libro, no, nakaasa. We also are capable now of accessing online materials that somehow gets to be validated, gets to be checked from time to time, so the accuracy of the information we are getting becomes more and more reliable. Okay? And though not to mention, nagkaroon din tayo ng phase where we use yung Morse code, yan. We use typewriters and even social media, no? Nandito na tayo sa point that we are using that as our one of the means of our communication. Next is convenience and education. I think these are actually quite self-explanatory, no? I may have add some additional technological advancement examples, but nonetheless, I hope as I get into the different advantages of technology, you get to somehow recall your previous idea of it. Kasi it's self-explanatory. You yourself can definitely understand it. Baka nga meron ka pang pwedeng maidagdag, no, sa mga sinishare ko right now. So, with convenience and education, okay, ang pinaka-example nito is yung mga online classes, no? Education is no longer limited to the four corners of our classroom nowadays. Lalong-lalo na nung nagkaroon ng global pandemic, no? We are adapted already to do distance learning, to do online classes, which is now the new normal, no? And more than that, when it comes to the reference materials that we're using, we are now able to use ebooks or electronic books, e-journals, and one advantage of that is it decreases the burden of carrying heavy books, right? Hindi na siya katulad dati na paramihan ng libro, lalong-lalo na nung elementary ako, I remember na parang kung 8 yung subject ninyo, 8 rin yung libro na dadalhin mo araw-araw, right? So, more than that, we are no longer like um, forced to get into the library every time we need to check just short informations, because right now we can even have our own library inside our laptops and phones, right? More than convenience and education as well, okay? um Technology is able to improve housing, lifestyle, and entertainment. No, kung familiar kayo sa tinatawag na mga smart homes, baka nga marami sa inyo are already using some of the features or already have their own smart homes. If you're familiar with Siri, with Google, with Alexa, no, yung mga voice what you call voice command, like appliances, okay, na sasabihin mo lang literal, they can like control certain features of your houses like temperature, like Wi-Fi, like yung ating ilaw, 'di ba? Sometimes pag turn on and off ng music and all. So voice activation, yung paggamit natin ng mga CCTVs din sa ating mga houses, yung pag-connect natin sa IoT or Internet of Things, no? That somehow makes our like entire house centralized and connected to the internet, and almost everything can be now regulated just with some few clicks on our phone. So that is an example of how internet has improved housing lifestyle. And when it comes to entertainment naman, dyan papasok yung mga VR boxes, no? Or yung virtual reality na tinatawag natin that undeniably has brought entertainment to the next level. Okay? Now, when it comes to the health industry naman, no, I believe it's quite very evident, no? Um, Here nowadays we can definitely see a lot of changes when it comes to the health industry. Some of those notable beneficial technological advancement includes ito yung tinatawag natin ditong Swift Ray 1. Actually mukha lang siyang CCTV, but this is actually it's like a medical, what they call this one, it's an imaging device, no, na pwede nating ilagay sa mga smartphones natin, okay? And what it does is that it can provide us with diagnostic information about doon sa parte ng katawan na pinipicturean natin. Like for example, the tissue physiology, the morphology and composition. Though on this particular device kasi, um, it is effectively used to take pictures of wounds. Okay? Yung mga wounds, sugat. Okay. Um, kasi somehow, may app din kasi na ida-download. I think it's Swift Skin and Wound app, something like that. I just forgot it. But that's like the idea. This is like a device that will help us come up with a medical grade image just by using our smartphone to initially diagnose or check, yun nga yung mga sinabi ko kaninang features nung sugat natin, para malaman or monitor yung condition niya and identify when it's really necessary for you to go to the hospital or if it's something that you can manage at home. So it can also monitor pre-existing conditions as well. When it comes to, again isolated lang siya dun nga sa case ng wound management and all. But nonetheless, it's a very great device, and somehow it is like comparable doon sa Star Trek tricorder, no, na kung familiar kayo dun sa movie na Star Trek, no, meron kasi itong device na tricorder na ginagamit ng isang character na whenever he uses it sa mga kasama niya, he gets to, kumbaga parang by scanning using tricorder, na-identify niya na or nada-diagnose niya na yung condition nung specific na tao na yun, no? So, kumbaga this one is inspired through that. Okay, aside from this Swift Ray one, nowadays you're also made aware of the artificial retina. So alam naman natin na retina is very important because without it we cannot see. And there's a lot of patients suffering from different vision related or vision loss or blindness related concerns, no? And that's the main goal of this particular artificial retina implant, no? What it does is that kung may damage tayo doon sa ating mga photoreceptors, that is like the ones responsible for our retina to work and form image, yun, this particular artificial retina, sometimes they're using um what they call this one, I forgot, stem cells. Okay, they modify the genetic materials within those stem cells and through gene therapy na tinatawag. Okay, once we get into the topic genetic modification or genetic engineering, you'll get to know it deeper if you're not quite familiar with gene therapy. But that's the idea, no? um they are trying to manage, okay, yung ating mga concerns when it comes to eye or retina, to be specific, through artificial retinas as well. Meron din namang iba na literal na ini-implant, no, at ginagamit, nilalagay, no, ino-opera sa mismong mata. And it has been known to be quite effective. But again, not everyone yet, okay, can use this one. Kasi up until today, it's still further being researched on. Okay, there are still several trials done to make sure whether or not it can be one of the official medical procedures that can be done for this particular cases. Ang priority as of the moment are those patients that has genetic predisposition with blindness. Okay, or merong mga genetic diseases that causes them to have retina problems po. Okay? And aside from that, this also we also have like advanced prosthetics. So kung familiar tayo sa prosthetics, ito yung mga ginagamit natin especially for mga amputees, nating mga pasyente. So sa case po ng advanced prosthetics, the compatibility to prevent latency of movement, and actually no dun sa latest kong nabasang article, they are now working on prosthetics that can also help patients improve yung kanilang sense of touch or yung feeling or sensation, okay, doon sa kanilang mga prosthetics. So they're still working on it, but there's known improvement so far in that field as well. Okay? So more than that, we also have, alam na natin to, no, yung mga anti-aging drugs, no, using stem cells, of course. There are different drug trials that has been established already to slow down aging and to reduce burden from cancer, diabetes, and dementia. And meron din tayo sa tooth regeneration. There are some journals stating that yung mga low-powered laser, okay, once applied sa mga sa mga pasyente with tooth loss, okay, what happens is that um I mean like etong journal pala, sorry. Yung journal na nabasa ko is about the potential. Okay, potential like method using low powered laser to activate yung stem cell. Okay, to stimulate yung growth of teeth for patients or for individuals that experience tooth loss no in the future. Pero sa case ng journal na ito, yung mga current studies pa lang ay ang focus ay rats. Okay? But nonetheless, the idea that if these are effective sa mga ganitong animals, maybe we're already working our way into, us also coming up with an improved method that can cater naman sa mga human beings. Kasi usually, that's how it works naman, di ba? Karamihan din naman ng ating mga successful medical techniques, methodologies, medical procedures, medical or medicine, drugs, no? It starts with different trials up until mapasa at maging human trials na, no? So, yan. Tooth regeneration is something that is also um, experiencing some benefits, no, from technology, and we're hoping for a more positive outcome that can cater again to human beings' needs as well naman. Yung disinfecting light bulbs, no, I believe everyone's quite familiar with that one already. Yung mga UV lights, no, na nakikita natin sa mga meat sections ng mga convenience stores, yan. Those are some examples as well of disinfecting light bulbs or light na ginagamit, of course, din sa medical setup as well. Okay? So, another or additional is yung nasabi ko na yung sa anti-aging drugs, no? Dahil technology din ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, syempre hindi mawawala yung AI and robotics. And um, I don't know if you're familiar with Grace. Grace is actually a robotic nurse, no? Na nagawa ng isang Hong Kong-based company that has been making her name together with her, yung nauna sa kanya na kapatid niya is si Sofia. Okay? Siyempre, lalong-lalo na nung dumating yung pandemic. Okay, si Grace and si Sofia are I think one of the or two of the most famous nurse robots, no? Um, so far, and sila ay naggawa bago pa mag-pandemic, and mas nakita yung kanilang relevance or yung kanilang benefits nung nagkaroon na ng pandemic, because again, robots cannot get what? They cannot get diseases, right? Unlike us human beings, or unlike yung mga tao sa ating healthcare. So more than they were able to provide not just simply assistance, no, but companionship as well, especially for those isolated patients of COVID, no, during the global pandemic. Okay, so Other than Grace and Sophia, actually, meron ding mga robots din, no? I think I saw a video um in a specific hospital sa though 2019 yung video na napanood ko, no. It's like yung yung certain hospital, I think it's Mercy Hospital sa US, they've utilized or they've pioneered, no, the usage of robots, no, to do yung mga ano, yung mga task that is heavy, no, sa field ng hospital. Like for example, yung pagde-deliver ng mga beddings, pagkuha ng mga trashes, pagde-deliver ng food, paglipat ng iba't ibang mga bagay from one floor to another. So, this hospital in the US actually used and collaborated with a specific company who provided the robots to them, and it's a success actually. I'm going to include the link of that video, no, in our LMS so that you can check it yourself. But the idea there is that the main goal is to not just simply assist patients, but in general, to remove yung workload sa mga healthcare professionals and assistants that is more on heavy lifting or heavy stuffs. Okay? And for them to enjoy more yung talagang trabaho nila, which is to connect more with their patients. So, and that significantly affected, no, yung workforce ng particular hospital na yun because again, instead of doing this other heavy task, mas na i-enjoy na nila at naibibigay na nila yung quality time nila doon sa kanilang mga inaalagaan ng mga pasyente. And of course, these robots, they are programmed. Okay? They use LiDAR, if you're familiar, LiDAR technology, which is like the technology as well that is being used by self-driving cars to avoid yung mga obstacles. Halimbawa, may mga harang or may mga tao para hindi nila mabangga, no? More than that, ayun nga, they're capable of they're capable of even checking into the elevator, okay, and going safely into different parts of the hospital. So it's very, very beneficial in that particular sense. Not to also mention yung mga robot arms na ginagamit natin, no, it's ito talagang known naman na ginagamit na sa field ng medicine, especially in surgery. So, which is more precise, no? But still being used pa rin, or in supervision with surgeons. Okay? When it comes to convenience and transportation, ganito lang yan, no? Sa tingin nyo, no? How long will it take you to go to Baguio from Cavite if magkakarwahe tayo or maglalakad tayo? 'Di ba? Abutin tayo ng forever. But because of technology, of course, this is something again that's is self-explanatory, no? We're able to go places and even travel to another country or another continent. Okay? In just span of days. With in a very convenient manner as well. Okay? So I don't think I need to further elaborate on it. Be it land, air, water, 'di ba? We've developed enough like technological vehicles that can help us get into our next destination with ease. We also have the technology already that can allow us to identify traffics, right? So yung mga nagwe-Waze, Google Maps, and all. So those are also technological advancement that is in the field of transportation. GPS, yan. So those are some examples. So when it comes to industry naman, katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, no, with the development of machine that can perform task with precision and efficiency because it reduces the duration of time, anong nangyayari? We can mass produce a lot of goods already in no time, no? So that reduces the labor cost already kasi nga wala ng taong babayaran. Okay? The only thing you have to do is just like acquire more machines that can work as much as you want them na hindi napapagod, no, at dire-diretso. Okay? And that's going to produce increased number in production, right? So that's efficiency and productivity due to what? To technology. And lastly, no, yung creativity and innovation, because of technology, no, we have open avenues for a more creative and innovative approach. Halimbawa lang din yan nung nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity to establish our businesses and go online, 'di ba? Ano na nangyayari, no? It cuts the cost that a businessman or aspiring businessman or woman will need to shoulder, okay, kung talaga mag-establish siya ng physical store by going online, right? So somehow it really helps everyone, and even more nagkakaroon tayo ng opportunity to get more or to access more information that will further boost our creativity and help us to innovate things, right? Now, we've talked about some of the, some of the positive effects or beneficial effects of technology, but it doesn't come without known disadvantages, right? Sabi nga nila, too much of a good thing can be a very bad thing as well. Let me just give you some examples of disadvantages of technology. Yung sinabi ko kanina na efficiency and productivity, that can also result into job loss and human displacement. Okay, as you can see dito sa aking inilagay na picture from World Economic Forum, though this is 2020 pa. Okay. Sabi dito, around 85 million jobs can be replaced by 2025 due to a new generation of smart machines, and 43% of businesses will cut down on their workforce due to the integration of the new technology. And yung workforce na tinutukoy dyan, tayo, no? Human beings. With the increase in automation, ano nangyayari? Some business lines choose to invest in automated machines than in hiring people to handle the jobs. Kasi nga, again, ang tao napapagod. Ang machine hindi. Right? Not unless mag-overheat yan. Yun lang. Okay? But like generally speaking, they can do more things. Okay? And yung idea din na kung ano yung program mo, basta tama, so we can guarantee the quality of their product as well. No? And if you're going to look at it, yes, it is good for business. Pero in the long run, it is not good for the people who can be part of that specific business, especially those people na alin na hindi fortunate enough to to specialize in certain field, right? So what will happen? Obviously they will lose jobs. Okay, so if I'm going to ask you, what occupations do you think are at risk of job loss and human displacement? Sige nga, can you share it? You can pause the video right now and share it sa ating LMS. Okay? How about us, yung mga instructors ninyo, or yung mga future engineers, okay, or mga future marketing management managers or businessmen, nurses, yan. Do you think there will come a time na robots will replace us? Do you think the service will be better if yung mga teacher ninyo ay napalitan ng robots or automated machines? Will you learn better? Think about this, right? So it's for you to answer naman, but the only thing I can say is that the affective side or the emotional side will always be innate among human beings. Okay? Maiintindihan ng teacher mo kung hindi ka makakapasok dahil meron kang anak na nagkasakit at kailangang alagaan. Okay. Can a robot understand that if it's only programmed to follow what are the excuse and unexcusable reasons for you to miss the lesson? It's not just that. Mas marami pa, right? But those are some things to ponder on, right? Another one is world destruction weapons. Okay. With what had gone through to the path I mean, like history wise, no, every one of us naman, I assume, have taken one way or another their history classes, no, and at some point, whether sa Pilipinas ba yan or even if it's other countries, most probably they've experienced certain types of conflicts within their countries, and most probably has been involved in the world wars, no? And ano nga ba yung ilang mga features na distinct doon? Yung paggamit ng mga world destruction weapons. For example, not just simply yung mga artillery, no? No? Pero very perfect examples is yung mga nuclear bomb, atomic bomb, right? Let's define weapon of mass destruction. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun, no? These are any weapon, pwedeng radiological, nuclear, biological, or chemical. Okay? That is what? That is fatal or can bring significant damage to human, man-made structures, natural structure, or the planet, the biosphere itself in general. Okay? And the utilization of these kinds of weapon, actually, alam naman natin, they have what? Ethical impact, right? Is it morally right to use this knowing that a lot can be killed, both human beings and the other living aspects of the area targeted, right? Nakita na natin yan sa Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Those who survived but has been exposed to the radiation because of the atomic bombing suffered generations of genetic defects because radiological or nuclear weapons are radioactive by nature, and they can alter what they can penetrate not just the bone but the cell itself and alternate the DNA within the cell, causing mutation, no, causing different what different disorders that can be passed on from one generation to another. So is that ethical? 'Di ba? More than that, yun nga yung idea that they can kill. Is that ethical? And if you're going to look at it, tatargetin mo yung isang area, pero there's no assurance that that is going to be controlled only, right? That's going to be an isolated case, no. Kaya nga if you're going to check atomic bomb and nuclear weapons, they're like within the same spectrum. Okay, they're both radioactive. So if I'm going to ask you, do you see an advantage if, let's say, our country has lots of nuclear weapons at our disposal? What do you think? Napag-usapan natin yung human flourishing last time. Do you think it's going to help us achieve human flourishing? Again, it's for you to ponder upon and share your thoughts within our LMS, no? But if you are to ask me, no, my personal take on this one is, again, technology is like a double-sided blade. Okay? It can bring life as much as it can get life as well. So we should be very, very mindful when it comes to using it. Okay? Now, more than that, okay? Um modern technology can also what? Cause physical isolation, increase loneliness, and reduce intelligence. And that is more observed when? Nung nagkaroon tayo ng lockdown, right? 'Di ba? Lalo na yung mga hard lockdown na tinatawag. Ano nangyari? We became forced to stay within our houses. Okay? And ano lang ba yung naging ating platform or naging sandigan natin during those time? Technology, of course. Those who cannot or who do not know how to use it are forced to learn how to use it, right? So again, it has entertained us, but at the same time, it doesn't guarantee that when we access them, we'll always be happy. No. It cannot always entertain us, right? Some recent technological developments has, sabi ko nga, caused physical, social isolation. Okay, which is again, it has caused absence of interactive relationships between family members and friends at an individual level. Why? Tutok ka na lang lagi sa cellphone mo, sa gadgets mo. Hindi ka na nakakausap ng maayos ng mga tao. Kaya naglalaro ka na lang ng Mobile Legends buong araw. Tamaan sa pool. Ayan. Right? Ano pa? Yung iba, um, sa kanila, accessibility to social media has been an advantage, pero somehow, no, their experience can sometimes be incomplete. Okay? Minsan, nagagamit pa siya as a venue for us to compare ourselves with other. Like, parang, ay, buti pa siya, ganito ako, ganyan. What happened? You tend it tends to increase loneliness. It tends to increase our feeling of being inadequate. It tends to tell us na there's something wrong with us. There's something missing, right? Tapos yung tinatawag nila na doom scrolling, ayan, aminado naman ako dyan. Sometimes I'm also experiencing such. Ay, panonoorin ko lang saglit tong isang reels na 'to hanggang di ko na napapansin. Wala na akong nagawa. Mag-scroll na lang na mag-scroll ng reels at mag-send na mag-send sa mga kakilala, right? Tapos pagkatapos nun, ay pagod na ako. So gusto mong matulog, tulog ka na lang. So it makes people quite lethargic, right? The dopamine, the short-term dopamine that we get from checking our social medias, from accessing the internet, mas nagiging dependent tayo sa kanya. As if we are not accessing it, we are not going to be satisfied with what's happening. We're not going to be happy, right? Tama ba yun? No. There should be a control. We should be the one controlling it, not the other way around, right? There are also some cases where the increased dependence on modern tools and technology that creates innovation and changes in the society may have reduced what? Human creativity and intelligence. Parang ma'am, sabi mo lang kanina, it can help us be more creative. Ba't ano nangyari yung dun sa reduction of human creativity and intelligence? Pag pag umasa ka na lang sa grammar and spelling check ng Grammarly, sa lahat ng ginagawa mo, hindi ka na makagawa ng output without Grammarly. 'Di ba? Ay, sabi nila, ma'am, okay lang naman gumamit ng AI. That's correct. There's nothing wrong with using AI in creating your outputs at school. Okay? Pero you must know how to what? Still double check it. You can get an idea from using AI and then afterwards modify it. Okay? Add, subtract, no? Put your own ideas within it. Pagsamahin mo, yun, walang problema dun. Pero kung 100% copy-paste mo na lang, yung masyadong halata na yung mismong prompt mo pa sa saan ba? Sa ChatGPT or sa Gemini, no? Yung mismong prompt question mo, hindi mo pa tinanggal, halata na tuloy masyado. Mm. Where's human intelligence and creativity there? Masyado ka nang umasa doon. Masyado kang umasa na ang teacher mo ay hindi babasahin ang output mo. Class, lalo na sa panahon ngayon na talamak ang paggamit niyan, mas nagche-check ang mga teacher niyan. Right? We should be more what? We should be more vigilant when it comes to checking information kasi we have access to lots of it already right now right? Not the other way around. Hindi porket marami tayong sources, okay na. Mas marami ka ng sources kaya mas dapat mong i-check kung tama yung mga nakukuha mo. Right? Next is, yung mga emerging and technological ethical dilemmas. Ethics. Ayan. So, I'm going to share some, no? Some, though I might have touched already yung like sa case ng sa world destruction uh weapons, no? If you're going to check it, us human beings are all entitled to human rights without discrimination, right? Of course, no? Um, Human rights are interrelated, interdependent, and indivisible. So lahat kaya nga human rights Lahat tayo may karapatan. Lahat tayo should not be violated. Pero somehow, by trying to consider it, anong nangyayari? Human rights can sometimes hinder the continuous development of technologies. And that is something na hindi talaga natin may iwasan kasi at the first place, technologies influence or affects the lives of people, right? And um because of that, may mga concerns no dun sa technologies or technological advancement that can stop or like somehow impedes it, no? Or stops it from being more developed. Okay? Kasi nga, it can somehow violate some human rights. Kasi at the end of the day, if you're going to look at it, who would want a technology who will trample on our rights as humans, right? So, again, dapat, bago tayo mag-improve and all, we should be really checking these things first. Kasi nga, again, we are at a point here where societal impact of technology is very what? Dapat na nating mapag-usapan publicly. Kasi right now, no? Habang nag-a-advance ang technology natin, ano bang napapansin natin sa environment natin? Is it also advancing? Yes. Climate change and global warming is advancing. And anong nangyayari? Ramdam na natin yung direct effect, no? This El Nino and the upcoming La Nina are evident examples of the effects of how we deal with our environment as we strive for technological advancement. Kasi always remember, technology is not neutral. Okay? Maliban sa idea na may risk of misuse, no, sa technology that can damage human rights and can also promote misinformation, it can also worsen international conflicts, right? Fake news, no, can cause a lot of things. So let's try to check into some of the ethical dilemmas related to the modern technology. Okay, yan. Start with real-time surveillance imagery. So with this one, no, if you're going to look at it, it's very helpful in planning and solving humanitarian problems, right? Yung mga illegal at human trafficking. Madalas dito natin nakikita, yung mga marami, 'di ba? Kahit nga ano, kahit, pag-trace ng mga nawawalang tao or pag-identify kung may robbery and all, what happens to this and that. There's a lot of beneficial things we can reap from real-time surveillance imagery, no? Maraming mga um, cases that has been solved because of this one, and maraming buhay din ang nasasagip. But there's still a what? It can clearly violate the privacy of human life, right? Kasi, okay, um, somehow it helps us to be quite prepared for, like, for example, yung mga natural phenomena like tsunamis, hurricanes, and drought. But, you know, you don't know up until where are you being watched, right? Tama ba? Hindi natin alam kung hanggang saan yung nakikita ng mga lenses ng mga real-time surveillance imagery devices that is present within the areas where we're living. 'Di ba? Yung binili mong camera, webcam, yung binili mong CCTV, how sure are you that when you connect it to the internet, you're the only one who has access doon? Tama? Paano kung as you connect to the internet and you turn on your webcam, pinapanood ka na rin pala ng iba? This is me not telling you to be paranoid or not to turn on your webcams anymore, no? But I think that makes sense, right? That is a question to ponder on as well, right? Okay? So again, these are just some of the risk that comes with technology. Another example is ito, matagal na natin 'tong pinupush eh, no? Um, yung ating intent to colonize Mars, no? More than like a general like ethical concern for the like general population of the Philippines or like the world. Siyempre, sino ba ang unang-unang magiging concern dito? Yung mga astronaut, no? It's an astronaut bioethics nga nakalagay, di ba? I don't know if you've heard of of Mars One. Okay, this is like Mars One is a space mission to colonize the planet Mars. Diyan nagsimula. Pero right now, NASA naman na yung nagwo-work on to, of course, that's one of the main goal to check if we can inhabit Mars. Yung una, yung Mars One, okay, um, it's actually by Mars One Venture, which is like a British company na na-acquire ng isang Swiss firm in the year 2016. Pero 2012 pa lang maingay na yung idea na oh, we can go to Mars and all. Like we're going to send certain people to colonize Mars. And the idea there, no, yung sa Mars One in particular, nung 2012, naglabas lang sila dito ng advertisement, and they actually looked for 100 people who's willing to go and get that one-way ticket, no? One-way literal, no? Yung willing kang doon na talaga magstay sa Mars. Though, come 2019, na-bankrupt din itong Mars One Ventures na ito and hindi talaga siya nag-materialize. Okay? Pero, right now, alam ko kahit si Elon Musk, 'di ba si Elon Musk may sarili siyang like company who creates like space rockets and all. Nakalimutan ko lang yung pangalan. Okay. I think Elon Musk companies also doing their own researches as well and trials to prepare and like send someone as well, no, sa Mars. But with NASA right now, I think natapos na yung 100 day, ah kasi meron silang NASA Mars 1 din, but si NASA naman, ang goal niya is to train muna, no, yung mga astronauts and yung mga qualified na tao, 4 persons at a time, okay, to be adapted. Gumawa lang sila ng parang 3D printed like area to mimic yung environment sa Mars and give them simulations of different like things that may happen doon once yun nga pumunta na sa Mars. So yun. The idea here is the concept nga of sending human beings. Is it fine? Let's say kung sakali lang na hindi na bankrupt yung sa Mars One Ventures last time, 'di ba? Parang is it ethical to send 100 people one way, hindi na babalik sa Earth, 'di ba? To settle there. Eh scientist has been known in an interview and debate, no, between known scientists who check, no, yung risk nung goal nga ng Mars One Ventures before. Sabi nila around 60 plus days lang mamamatay yung mga tao doon because of the oxygen and the other necessary resources for human beings to live na hindi available or ma-accommodate ng Mars. So, that's one big question. Again, knowing that we're not yet clear of whether Mars is inhabitable or habitable, di ba? Is it still ethical to send human beings there just to try whether they can live or not? Okay? Wearable technology. Most probably, no, halos lahat familiar na dito or baka nga kayo ay gumagamit na rin yan, yung mga smartwatches, right? Cell phones, okay, and all. Though, mas common to sa mga smartwatches natin and devices that has direct, kumbaga, access to our personal information. Ultimo, yung sleeping hours, yung pag-inom mo ng tubig, yung walk mo sa tawag nito, yung BP, right? Parang built-in oximeter na rin siya. Kahit nga yung ano eh, workout. And sa mga girls naman, yung cycle, 'di ba? Pwede mo na ring i-monitor diyan. How safe are we that our private details are not exposed? No? Lalo na, we all know that hacking is also a thing right now. Lalong-lalo na yung mga state-sponsored hacktivism na tinatawag, which is like a form of terrorism, pero in the field of what? Field of ICT. Kasi nga sabi nga natin nowadays, no, the most important resources is not money, but something that can generate money. And those are what? Those are biological data and alin? Yung digital data natin. Bakit ba tayo nanghahack? Halimbawa, ano, one example of that is yung mga nanghahack ng databases ng mga government institutions, right? Um, lalong-lalo na yung mga highly confidential information. And bakit ba nila yun hinahack? Parang ano yun eh. Siyempre, pag nag-leak, no, yung mga personal information, that is going to be very, very dangerous and will put what? The life of those people na may expose ang information at risk. So, to avoid that, anong ginagawa? They are providing or asking for ransom money. Kumbaga, ang pinaka tawag nito, kinikidnap nila ay hindi yung tao mismo, but what? The information of the person. And that is something na alin, somehow, importante din naman talaga, no? Um, Nata-target din usually diyan yung alin, yung mga BPO or business process outsourcing companies that also what? That carries or manages different information as well. So, ayun, no? That is also an example of hacktivism. With state-sponsored hacktivism, yun nga, ones that yung mga software ng mga or hardware ng mga organization that plays a major role sa operations ng isang gobyerno ay na-hack. So, pwedeng masira, pwedeng ma-disable. So, pwede ring ma-deface yung website, no, nung certain organization or government institution na yun. So, again, that is very, very dangerous as well. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga war na na-experience natin right now, it's actually not just simply the physical war that yung literal na merong bomba and all, but soft war in the sense of softwares being hacked, state-sponsored hacktivism is also another thing that we should also put our eye on. Enhanced pathogen, ito naman po, this is uh, giving us a potential avenue of what? Exposing viruses into the general public. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na gain of function research. Ito ay yung mga researches na ginagamit or kinakonduct because we want to understand yung nature ng alin? Ng mga human pathogens or ng mga pathogen or something that can cause diseases like bacteria, viruses, fungi, no, sa mga tao. And paano ba natin sila mas maiintindihan? Of course, kailangan natin silang pag-eksperimentuhan, pag-aralan. Okay? So yung mga highly dangerous viruses and all, no, the of course the main goal is to somehow obliterate them or to remove them sa face ng planet Earth as much as possible. Pero we can never really say when they can re-emerge again, no, so we have to be prepared. So we conduct different researches to further study them. So while this kind or types of researches allows us to assess, no, yung potential ng mga emerging infectious diseases na pwedeng maging global pandemic sa future. Again, still it poses an extremely high risk, no, saan sa biosafety and biosecurity ng mga tao. Okay? Kasi how sure are we that we are going to contain it and we are not going or there won't be any accidental introduction of this sa general population, right? How sure are we na hindi yan makakalabas dun sa facility kung saan siya ginagamit or pinag-aaralan and will not trigger an outbreak na pwedeng maging pandemic. So, there's a lot of things when it comes to biosafety. Okay? Sa biosecurity naman, um, how sure are we na yung mga tao na magiging parte ng mga researches na ito is not going to use, like, discover something novel about it and try to use it for bioterrorism, 'di ba? Kasi they can be used eh. Halimbawa, yung anthrax, yan. Ilang beses na yung ginagamit kasi parang powdery lang yan. Pwede mong ilagay lang yan sa sa I remember our college instructor shared an example, no. I just forgot who is the recipient US president targeted by this example bioterrorism act using anthrax. But yun nga, may isang US president na tinarget. Pero fortunately, hindi naman siya nadali nito. But the idea is nagpadala ng snail mail or ng envelope with powdered anthrax na pala, no? Doon sa White House. And buti na lang, syempre, dahil yun ay president, may security yan. So they're able to check first and they're able to verify na may anthrax doon sa envelope na ipinadala. And that can cause respiratory failure once inhaled, no, ng tao, and can cause um like death ng mabilisan. So that's an example of bioterrorism which can be or which can definitely be experienced due to enhanced pathogens, no? So the roles of medically inclined researchers in people is very pivotal, not just where sa pagde-deliver ng mga accurate test results, no, sa patients natin, but at the same time saan sa pag-contain ng mga pathogenic samples, no, through proper disposal and following protocols in testing to avoid itong ang tinatawag nating mga enhanced pathogens from reaching the general public. Yung mga robot swarms naman, meron tayong tinatawag na mga kilobots. Na mga kilobots are actually group of robots that can communicate with each other, and then somehow they can perform simple tasks without human intervention. No? Para sa mga magtutropa, pwede silang gamitin. And it's very convenient. Pero the idea na, again, they can still have the tendency to malfunction and cause harm and accidents. That's another thing to take note of. Okay? Kasi kahit gaano ka perfect naman yung isang machine at the end, kung halimbawa nagkaroon ng certain glitch, 'di ba? Nagkakaroon nga ng system glitches sometimes. So, kung ultimo nga yung mga different programs, nag-update sila from time to time kasi nagkakaroon ng bugs. How sure are we that robots will not experience the same thing as well, right? So those are some keynotes to think of as well. Yung mga artificial life forms as well, no? These could be another concerns, ethical concerns, no, in the field of technology. Eto kasi pinag-aaralan 'yan sa ano, sa field na tinatawag na synthetic biology, wherein yung focus niya is you're creating custom life forms for specific purposes. Bakit? Because, this artificial life allows researchers to study the origin of life itself, 'no? Kasi up until right now pa rin naman, we're trying to figure out how really life started. So, for us to understand it, we have to mimic it, right? We have to like as close as possible establish those conditions that prompted life to start. Okay, so with that, artificial life are being created. Pero again, no, just like concerns with other biological advances, yung issue about safety, risk management, of course, those are some things that we must dealt as well, no. Especially kung sakasakali lang that we get to release these life forms po sa laboratory. Okay? And 'di ba, if at the end of the day, 'pag mga ganyan laging papasok yung question na, aren't we playing God already if we do this, right? And lastly, okay, before I end this particular lesson is yung brain-to-brain interfaces, 'no? Sinabi na natin brain-to-brain interface. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Here, we have direct communication from one brain to another without the use of speech. Literal na, akala mo may mental telepathy na tinatawag. Pero, you're using what? You're using brain. So, like, how does it works? Yung technology na to kasi, it's mediated by direct communication between two brains, again, without the use of speech. Ma'am, in what way? It is consists of two components. Una, yung brain-computer interface. Okay? Ito yung nagde-detect ng mga neuron, no? Neural signals from one brain. Tapos tina-translate niya yun dun sa computer commands. Tapos meron naman tayong computer brain interface, yun naman yung nagde-deliver ng computer command dun sa another brain. So again, meron tayong dalawa, brain-computer interface, yun yung dinedetect niya yung neural signal dun sa isang brain, tapos ita-translate niya into computer command. Tapos yung pangalawa, computer brain naman. So pinagbaliktad, computer brain interface, yun naman yung it delivers yung computer command dun sa isa pang brain. Okay? Ano, 'di ba, ang cool. Tapos anong mangyayari? Somehow, they get to interact without saying anything just by using that. Kumbaga, ang nagiging mediator nila is yung computer sa gitna. But the ethical issue surrounding the use of this BBIs or brain-to-brain interfaces is what? Una sa lahat, it includes concerns about autonomy, privacy, agency, accountability, and identity. Bakit? Kasi, una, the sender may send a false information and yung brain nung receiver may believe na totoo sila kasi it cannot identify it naman eh. Right? Second, according to some journal articles about PBIs, sabi, you can control one's actions just by sending signals to the receiver's brain. Okay? So, kumbaga, nawawalan ka na ng autonomy dun sa action mo. Kasi there's someone controlling your brain already. Parang ganun. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, there should be a strict policy on the use of this technology bago pa siya, alin, magamit for a possible malicious act. Right? Kasi mas malaki yung chance na magamit siya that way. Okay? So that's it for the brain to brain interface and the use of technology that has advantages and disadvantages. Okay? Um I just wanted to end this particular lesson with this, no? It is our social and moral obligation to scrutinize. Okay? Pag sinabi natin scrutinize, check, himayin, ang alin? Etong mga developing technologies na 'to so that we can maximize their benefit and minimize their disadvantages. So I hope you learned something new today. This is Miss Del Torre and thank you for watching and listening. Have a great day ahead. Bye everyone.